Dead weight. Henry set down the tenders, hissing mournfully. "Oh, that duck!" he hissed. "Fancy giving me sludge-filled tenders! They don't take me seriously anymore, but I'll show them a thing or two." He trudged back to the yards, where only Flying Scotsman and Donald were waiting. "Quite the show you put on with those tenders," Scotsman smiled. "Pooh, nothing more than sludge-filled relics," Henry remarked. "Admittedly, I'm jealous," Scotsman continued. "The thought to have more than 2 tenders. I'd never have to stop. However, I find sufficing with 2 is more than enough." Henry snorted indignantly and flounced off to the sheds. "Hey, ye may have struck a nerve there," Donald muttered quietly. More and more diesels started to arrive on the island. The summer rush meant that diesels from the other railway often brought goods to be helped in construction and many other things. Most engines weren't keen on them being such a frequent return. However, Flying Scotsman didn't mind them. "I'm well acquainted with diesels on the other railway." "Aren't they horrid?" asked Duck curiously. "Some are, but I've found a good lot of them tend to be quite friendly. I've had a lot of them help me if I were to ever have trouble building steam, or get stuck on a hill." He winked at Gordon. The other engines laughed, all except Henry. "Pah!" Henry snapped. "I'd advise you stay away from them. Those mainland diesels just have a bunch of dead weight. They're going to hold you back, my dear engine. Make no mistake." The next morning, the owner spoke to Flying Scotsman. "Boko has failed. The Fat Controller asked if we would be open to taking a final train before taking the enthusiast home." "The more the merrier," Scotsman said. "It'll give me another chance to stretch my wheels." He reversed into the station where Boko's coaches were waiting for him. Henry was sitting on a nearby platform. The Flying Scotsman buffered up and waited patiently for the guard's whistle. As soon as he did, Scotsman started off slowly. He didn't get far until suddenly he felt a surge in weight. "Oh my, whatever is going on?" His driver looked back. "We didn't take the brake tender off," he cried. Scotsman looked back and saw that behind his own tenders sat Boko's low-sitting brake tender. Henry laughed. "Well, well, well. Looks like I was right after all then. How's that for dead weight?" The Flying Scotsman had to laugh. Soon, they had removed the brake tender and Flying Scotsman took the train on. When he returned, Henry spoke. "How do you feel now that you've had 3 tenders?" "It was quite interesting, to say the least," Scotsman admitted. "You were certainly right about diesels having dead weight, although I don't think this is what you were implying." Henry looked down at his buffers. "Never mind," Scotsman continued. "I'm sure you'll find that not all mainland diesels are a burden. Just you wait and see. Maybe Henry will find that not all diesels are nasty. But I shouldn't say much more, or I shall spoil the next story."